Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Comic Corner here, episode 4. Sorry, Rob. This is Dom right here. And thanks for joining us, guys. We are on our 4th episode, which is pretty cool. And this 4th episode is going to be different than the other ones because we are going to be announcing what our comic of the month is. So, as you know, that we've been reading, talking, discussing books that we've been reading this month of April. And now we're finally at the end of the month. And every single month, at the end, we're going to be giving you all what our comic book of the month is. So, Don's been reading this comic by Image Comics. It is by Hickman Andragata. There you go. He knows more about it. I've read about 2 volumes of it, and there is so much to it. And I was trying to keep up with other things on the side that I just couldn't keep up as much. But Dom is up to date with all of it. And so...
Waiting for the new issue to come out in May.
So, the comic book of the month that we recommend to you guys is a comic called East of West. Like we said, it is written by Jonathan Hickman. It was created by Jonathan Hickman and Nick Dragata. The artist is Nick Dragata, letterer is Russ Wooten, and colorist is Frank Martin. So, tell us a little bit about this comic, man.
Man, let me tell you, I fell in love with this comic. It was recommended to me by some lovely ladies at the comic shop. I picked it up. And I was like, okay, when the art style looked pretty cool, I was just like, all right, yeah, give it a shot. Picked the first volume, read it within 20 minutes when I got home and just breezed through it. I was like, I liked it that much. Enticed me. It's a post-apocalyptic kind of story set in a dystopian future in the United States. After the United States kept being at war with each other during the Civil War, and that allowed for kind of other countries to come in and take control of part of the United States, and then Texas and Louisiana became their own independent nations, as well as the Native Americans. They kind of seized control of their own land as well, so that they still have the Union, the Confederacy, Texas, independent nation, the Kingdom of Louisiana. They have the nation of Native Americans. I can't remember the name off bat, what it's called. And then they have
Trust us, he read it. He just doesn't remember.
They have the PNR, I believe, which is the People's or PRA, People's Republic of America. And that's seized by China. It was seized by Mao when he was exiled to America. Pretty interesting. I think in one of the volumes, I think it's 6. There's kind of a map, and it displays all the factions and everything, and where the land's cut up. It's pretty interesting. But it kind of centers around, the first part of the story centers around death. He's one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and he's kind of set out on this revenge story to, redeem himself to his wife that he believes was dead. Turns out she kind of wasn't. And then he finds out that his son might still be alive. So he goes on this quest to basically, save his son from the other 3 horsemen of the apocalypse who feel abandoned because he fell in love with this girl and had a son, and he kind of diverted from their main goal, which was to set upon the end of times, And in doing so, there's a lot of different action scenes. It's, really gritty. They go there with the dialogue is just great. I wouldn't expect anything less from anybody from Image Comics to put out a good quality comic.
Yeah.
So
no, yeah, man. So I've read the first 2 volumes.
7 volumes, and I'm the 3 issues into which is going to be probably the 7th volume or the 8th volume. Sorry, no, 7th volume. Well, 6 volumes. 7th volume would be the ones that I'm reading now. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I read the first 2 volumes. It was really, really good. The art is fantastic. There's a lot of dialogue in this, and there's a lot of the very beginning is a lot of story setup. There's a lot of setup for the entire story, and so. But
it gives really good context for it too.
And so I was actually talking to you about this earlier. I enjoyed the comics a lot. They were there's some really, really good comics, some good art, some good storytelling, and so there's moments in the comics where I loved certain characters, and Death. I enjoyed his story.
Yeah.
And so every single time I got to his point, it's like, oh yes, I'm buckling in. I'm gonna keep reading what is going on in his story. And the same thing for the dude with the helmet. Well, I forgot his name. You said it earlier.
I think they just refer to him as the Lawman.
Okay, Lawman.
Yeah.
And so he
had a name, but I think he just took the Lawman or the Ranger.
Oh, the Ranger. That's what it was.
And
so I loved his story as well, where he killed a dude who was making a decision in regards to a problem that happened.
The dude he killed was supposed to be. They were supposed to be judges.
Yeah.
Like there was I think a bunch of them in Texas, 13 district judges or whatever, and the goal of the Rangers was they just wiped the judges out because they were easily paid off to greedy people, and so he just decided to take law into his own hands, and became justice, became the law,
And I mean, I enjoyed it. In that character, I enjoyed it a lot because just the fact of him, wanting to put justice where justice was deserved, and it was a really, really good comic. Now, I won't be able to tell much on the rest of the story because I didn't read that far, but based off of where you are now, how much do you believe the comic has evolved?
Quite a bit. It's you know what I like about it is that it's kind of reminiscent, I believe, of I know I've read some of the Walking Dead comics, but not all of them, so don't crucify me. But it's reminiscent of kind of how they build up story, like characters, they build up the story arcs. It's kind of like that. They start on a part of their story and then they turn off and then they go to another character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It leaves you hanging. It keeps you interested because you want to see where the next part of that story is going to go. You get heavily involved with character build up, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely say that from the main part of the series in these books, it started off with death, and then now more recently it's focused on the Chosen, and the Chosen are supposed to be these people that are working with the Horsemen of the Apocalypse to help procure the end of the world, basically. So by doing so, they're usually pretty powerful people, heads of state and stuff like that. And that's interesting. Heavy wind.
If you guys are watching, you guys are hearing some interesting noises. There's a big storm coming in right now in Texas, and the wind just picked up maybe 80 miles per hour just right now at this very moment. It's getting really crazy right now.
Pretty cool though.
Okay, so real quick. So I had not concerns, but I had questions because there's moments where I was getting a little confused with certain characters.
Yeah.
So the people who cut off Xiaolin's, I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Yaolin.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yaolin. X is silent. Her arms. Who cut them off?
That was, I believe, the Horseman Apocalypse. That was War. War cut them off.
Okay, so those are the Horseman Apocalypse, the same ones that are now.
Yes.
So why are they little?
Because they reincarnate. They take different forms. For
so
example,
the red one was a girl. Now the red one's a boy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she actually, or he comments on that in there. When they first, I think it's in the first volume, says, "Oh my gosh, I had this beautiful body, and now I'm this little teenage boy,"
Okay, that explains a whole lot because I was getting confused because the thing with the comics that they do so well with color scheme.
Because Conquest was also a woman as well, and now Conquest is a boy, a teenage boy.
Yeah.
It's just they reincarnate because they're dimensional beings from heaven and hell. So they don't have a solid form. They just take an earthly form, and by doing so, it's just I think it's just a random kind of a draw. They haven't really got too far into that, but
okay, yeah, that was something that I was having trouble with because I was I know these people are connected to these people, but it just doesn't add up. That clears up a lot of space for me.
It's them. They just and that's why they keep the same color scheme, with them. War is red, Conquest is blue, and Famine is yellowish green.
So the main character, the protagonist, obviously is Death.
Yes.
He used to be part of the Four Horsemen. He converted. He used to be just pure black, and then he converted. Now he's pure white.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Because I'm pretty sure it had to do with them having a kid, Yaolin and him having a kid. I believe it was because she stole Death's heart, basically. She's the one who conquered death. You know what I mean? So in doing so, he he went to the light. He's not dark anymore. He's not just pure evil. He's got a soul.
It says that Death fell in love with Yaolin and fathered a child with her. When the horsemen were killed, death somehow avoided their fate. Although he did not die or experience resurrection like the other horsemen, he did change color from black to white.
Yeah.
So I like
I think the white is like kind of just a symbol of like the purity in him. Like he's not all just death. Like he is death. He brings death, wherever he goes in the series. But the purity comes from, I believe, like his love for his child and his wife.
Yeah. I do love his companions, Crow and Wolf.
Oh.
They're really, really cool.
The coolest characters like I've ever seen.
Like there's moments where, like, the art to it really lend itself to their characters because how Crow obviously she'll just turn into like a swarm of crows.
When you get further into like I think it's the 5th volume, I believe. Let's see real quick. Yeah, the 5th volume. Nope, 6th volume. 6th volume. There's a bunch more story arc between Crow and Wolf, and it kind of talks about like Wolf's origins and stuff.
Okay.
And how he kind of like completely relates to this whole thing, and it blows up. It's
cool,
crazy.
Dude. I love his character and the way that the way the art lends itself, like how I said, when he turns into wolves, and then when he's coming back together, when it shows him like his body's forming, and then you see the wolves like slipping underneath his cloak because they're coming together. It's so good.
There's this fight scene in there. I don't want to ruin it for you, but he turns into like this massive wolf.
Really?
It's
That's
so cool, dude. It's so cool.
Let's talk about the action real fast.
Yeah.
The action's really, really cool, and it's on a level to where I kind of saw, I was like, this reminds me of like a little bit sci-fi Star Wars, kind of like over the top,
it's
like this
definitely
huge
sci-fi-ish
beast.
because it is like set, and I think it's like, you can check for me real quick. I think it's like 2064 is when it starts, and like right now where I've ended it's like 2066.
Let's see.
So
Trying to find it, dude.
let's see. I'll just open to the first one. It says, I believe, on the first page. No, it does not. But it goes by years of the apocalypse too, which is really interesting. I really kind of enjoy that as well.
It's in the same year as we are in, because it's set in a dystopian future of the present day United States. So you know how that Civil War happened? It's supposed to be as if the Civil War went a totally different direction, and everything got so psychologically advanced.
I think. Hold on. I know it's not set when we are. That's off.
In this timeline, the Civil War was never ended, and there was almost eternal strife between the Union and the Confederacy.
It's supposed to be like in the slight future from here. It's not supposed to be like right now though. I know it's supposed to be in the future. I would just Google it too real quick.
Okay.
Google when is East of West set? What year? I believe it's like 2060. Or just East of West timeline. Well, that's just gonna show the timeline of when it was. The world. I have that. I know I have that.
What is that? The world.
The world. It basically is like a rundown of everything that's going on. Oh, right here. Perfect. See, this is pretty freaking cool. This is like the world. It shows it. They added it into this comic, which is pretty cool. But it shows where the Union is, where the Confederacy is, where their bases are, like what's their GDP, what kind of currency they use, when their independence was, like, all that stuff. It's really interesting to like. This is in the 4th book, by the way. So yeah, Republic, and it shows about like their kind of political standing and stuff like that. The nation, yeah, and then Armistice, which is their temple, PRA. Oh, here's the timeline. Yeah, so yeah, 2064 AD, the apocalypse begins. That's when this book takes place.
Okay.
2064, the rebirth of the Horsemen. That's in the first episode.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. So it is 2064. That's when this book takes place. Yeah, dude, this is a really good comic and professionally done.
Yeah, I love the fact that they have a timeline for everything like that. They have backstories. It's great. It just makes it more fun to read because they've gone the extra mile to appease people.
I mean, you can tell that they obviously first started off, they were doing the thing. By the time they got to the 4th volume, them putting that whole timeline and maps and everything, that shows that they're actually into this and they're like, they want to keep pushing this to where it can go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, this is a really, really good comic, and we recommend that y'all read it.
They took a hiatus in April, so there's no issue 33, I think is 33, because I'm on 32 right now. There's no issue 33 in April. There will be in May, and I believe around the 17th is when they're going to drop that. So
okay,
but I have nothing bad to say about this comic, man. It has just kept me on my toes. I enjoy it. Like, I'd love to see this one day become like a television show, maybe on like Showtime or HBO, or even just like a movie, like, you know, short film, like a series, like like how do you say, like one of those mini series where like each episode's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah, I can totally see this either being a movie or an HBO kind of show. Now, we did talk about that, dude. It would be so great, and it needs a big budget if this were to become a movie.
It does, but I think that like if this continued on, because it's only on its 32nd issue, and like check The Walking Dead, like how many issues is The Walking Dead on? It's like some ridiculous number. Like, I mean, they have like their books. They have like what comes after like volumes, right? It's like this. Like, this is one of the Walking Dead books. It's like that thick, dude.
No, yeah, because they have those huge ones. They're on volume 27 right now.
The Walking Dead is?
Yeah, and that's issue number 157 to 162.
No, they're only on volume 27, though. I thought they were going to be further than that. Regardless, though, they're like a lot of issues. And this is only on like the 33rd, so, you know.
Let me see. Was there an East of West? Let me see.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing about it.
Okay.
Cool. Anyways, do you have any last comments, dude?
Last comments for this? I can't stop reading these. They're addictive. I wish that they'd put out comics sooner and it wasn't just a monthly comic, you know? Because I blew through these volumes so fast.
Yeah.
But no regrets on that end. Definitely would go check it out. East of West, our comic of the month. It's a great title. Will not regret it. And it'll provide you, I mean, I blew through it in 2 weeks, but it'll provide most people, like casual readers, probably a good read for quite a bit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Cool. What guys? Thank you for dying. No.
I'm dying right now. So cool.
Okay. Well, guys, thanks for joining us here on Comic Corner, episode 4, comic book of the month. Remember, East of West. I will be having a link in the description as to where you guys can go get it on Amazon. And yeah, guys, this is a great.
Support your local comic shop.
Yeah, dude.
Head in there. Ask about East of West.
No, honestly, yeah. Guys, I'm going to put it in the description just in case you guys want to go get it. But me and Dom have noticed that it's a lot better to go into your local comic shop because it's the more social aspect to get to know your people there. It's really, really fun.
You support a small business too. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Like those people love what they do. They love. If you love comics like we do, like just go support them.
Yeah,
by
man.
like getting your comics there.
Yeah.
You know.
Help them out because they're doing things that they want to do.
I mean, unless you're looking for a back catalog, then they'll tell you maybe go look online. But you know, most comics that are out right now that we talk about, you can find at your local comic shop.
For sure. Thanks for joining us, guys. Side Rob, this is Dom. You guys are here on the INDUO YouTube channel. Our links are down below for our social media accounts. And as always, stay tuned for episode 5. And next month, we will be bringing y'all another comic of the month at the end of May.
Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing our channel.
We love you guys. Stay tuned. Keep writing them comics.